Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those three dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 2 officially underway. The countdown to Super Bowl 60. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then it's Super Bowl Sunday and then off into the abyss of, oh no, what are we going to do without NFL football? We'll never survive. And we do when we enjoy college basketball, NBA action, and the start of the Major League Baseball season, which includes the WBC Classic here, which we'll enjoy as well. And oh yeah, there's something called the Olympics on the horizon as well. Sports never stop. Neither do we right here on the early line, Joe. We don't stop.
No, we do not, Donnie. We got to get you ready, of course, for that big game on Sunday. But we got a lot going on. Final push here for the regular season in college hoops. March Madness will be here before we know it. So yeah, and pitchers and catchers. Do we have a T-minus what, Donnie? 7 days and counting? 6 days and counting?
The 10th, Joe.
10th.
We will be seeing active highlights of pitchers throwing off mounds and doing their, hey, let's fake throwing off a mound and run over to first base. So only in the regular season we scream at the pitcher, why didn't he just run over to first base and cover first base on an infield bunt here? We'll get to that and more, Joe. But let's talk ownership in the NFL. And this has been a passion for me that I don't think is a passion for many other people. Ownership in the NFL is looked at ridiculously, which means like they're like the savior of the town and the franchise. If you bought that team in 1930 and kept it in the family, like all the historical tendencies go to you and the accolades here. I don't believe that. I believe you're just a steward for that town, and it's the town and the city's team here that should be the most important thing. And the Bears, I'm going to start with them. You said, what are you bringing up the Bears for here? This is ridiculous. Why is it, Joe, when an owner has a team like George Halas, did you know George Halas's initials are on the Bears uniform? And it's pissed me off since I've been a kid here because they put them on once he passed away. I said, okay, it's part of their uniform. And owner's initials are part of a team's uniform. Doesn't make any sense. Then Virginia McCaskey passed away, and they put basically a Toyota-sized logo on the uniform for the entire season for her. A 100-year-old lady, along with her father, who has a patch on the shoulder, Joe. Help me out with this. And I also want to include my Philadelphia Phillies fandom as well. Before John Middleton took control of the team, where he's basically the solo owner now, the Phillies had like 12 owners. And it felt like every year for a decade, one of the owners or family members would pass away, and they would put a random patch on the uniform. Patches for owners on a uniform? Ridiculous, Joe. Ridiculous.
A lot of this is ridiculous. I mean, the whole, the whole thing with the Hall of Fame, too, where we're trying to nominate owners into the Hall of Fame here makes absolutely no sense to me. The Hall of Fame should be for players. Now, if you want to put owners in the Hall of Fame, okay, great, but that needs to be a separate committee. That needs to be separate everything to distinguish from what the coaches and players do, because those are the boots on the ground. That is what the Hall of Fame is all about. Many kids and generations that are going to go to the Hall of Fame wouldn't know, the Hallis group, wouldn't know Robert Kraft. They wouldn't know any of them. That's not who they actually associate with. They don't associate with the billionaire owners. They associate with the players and the coaches. That is who we should be worried about getting into the Hall of Fame, not owners, and being a part of the same class as the players makes no sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's next here? Like, the business administration department's like, hey, you know what?
Yes.
Look how profitable the Dallas Cowboys have been over the past 10 years in Forbes magazine. Joe Thomas, who oversees our legal department, into the Hall of Fame because of how profitable he made this franchise. Enough. Just leave it up to the players here. The owners, you know what their Hall of Fame is? Their wallet and the size of it. That could be just enough here.
Yeah.
Stop with the patches of the owners on the uniforms itself. It's ridiculous at this point. But Robert Kraft not getting into the Hall of Fame as an active owner. He probably should be in because there's been owners in there in the past. Who knows? Maybe they're just holding against the New England Patriots. But enough about the owners here now. Let's keep it moving as we go. The New York Giants. Oh, yeah, owners again. How about the Tisch family right now? Oh, no, we appear a lot here in these Epstein articles right now. Not a great look for the NFL.
Not a great look for the Giants either, which leads me to believe that, yes, while the league will look into it, something tells me there will be some sort of deal or something cut, not in the public eye, Donnie, that will somehow remove Tisch or just make him unavailable for the foreseeable future and disassociate him with the Giants in any way, shape, or form, or better yet, the NFL in any way, shape, or form.
Meritocracy in the NFL. You know what that means, Joe? It means the best player is going to get that job regardless of skin color or anything else. Seems to be applied here with the head coaches. Or when we say Roger Goodell says, hey, we're going to bring up a clip in a second here about him talking about maybe we need to rework this. Let's just make it fair for everybody. If you have a minority quarterback, the next start has to go to a non-minority quarterback. If you fire a head coach there who's a minority, the next time it has to be a non-minority. Why don't we just do that like musical chairs where we just pick on the color of skin here and make it fair for everybody? Everybody wants to win in the NFL. Let the best coach, the best player, regardless of skin color, get that job on the field or off the field. Here's Roger Goodell.
I think we need to continue to make progress, and I believe that. I believe diversity is good for us. I think we have become a more diverse league across every platform, including coaching. But we still have more work to do. There's got to be more steps. So we're reevaluating everything we're doing, including our accelerated program, including every aspect of our policies and our programs to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow rather than yesterday. So we need to be looking at that and sort of say, okay, why did we have the results this year? What is it that we can be doing in training or education, and that goes for not just the candidates, but also the clubs, and how we can try to continue to increase the opportunities and the outcomes ultimately.
You know what the best part of this conversation is, Joe? How many times have we done on this show, head coach and hiring, 10 spots open? And you know what? Not one time, Joe, did I ever think like, wow, I can't believe a white guy or a minority got this job here. It never even enters into my mind. Why is it across the landscape that it seemingly enters into the NFL going like, we have to do a better job? It's not an issue. It's not.
My question is, Donnie, why do we have 10 openings? Why?
That's true.
Well, we have 10 openings because the billionaire owners don't think the guys currently in that position are doing a good enough job. Many of those weren't there long enough to actually figure out whether or not they were any good at the job, but they weren't given a chance to succeed. So if you have 10 billionaire owners that are like, blow it up, this is not good enough, what makes you think it's about anything other than winning and what have you done for me lately? They are looking for the best guy to give them the best results at this time. That's it. If they think they could get an edge, no matter who the coach is, they're going to hire them, Donnie. You don't have 10 openings because everything is kumbaya. You got 10 openings because it's about winning. And if you don't win in this league, you don't have a job, period.
Exactly. Like, I'm a white kid from the suburbs who loves the Eagles. My first jersey ever was Reggie White. I wore it to school like every other day in 5th grade here. You know what my favorite all-time Eagle is? It's Brian Westbrook. You know, I even cheer. I'm a dog lover here, and I cheered Michael Vick as my quarterback here. When you watch sports, most people, and I mean 99%, don't think of, oh my goodness, how can I cheer for this person? Is that the same skin color as I am? Or, oh, I hope he doesn't get that job here. Nonsense. We just want to win as fans, and that's all we care about at this point here. Bill Belichick, how about this? Claims that he's going to be a Hall of Famer from Roger Goodell. Who'll eventually get in? Why are we even bringing this up? He should already be in this weekend, Joe.
You should be there, Donnie. I mean, enough said. The fact that he's not means maybe you should look into that, Roger Goodell. What's going on there with the Hall of Fame voting? Ridiculous.
Yeah, come on, man. I mean, make it up at this point right now. By the way, Major League Baseball, get your broadcast rights together here. Come on now. You can't be picking teams that are folding up shop like the FanDuel Sports Network and all that good stuff here. Get it together, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Main Street, shocker. Can't afford to pay the baseball teams. Just create your own network like, I don't know, like the Yankees and Dodgers have been doing for how long now?
Drake May should be just fine for Super Bowl Sunday coming up. James Harden in the NBA, he wants nothing to do with Los Angeles. And then there's Fanatics over here, printing out cheap products for an extreme amount of money. And the fans, they ain't having it anymore, Joe.
No, they are not. And nor should they either here, Donnie.
Come on now, hot topics here include the Olympics. They're coming up this week, baby. Let's get involved.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie. And I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So, so that was, I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, you know, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
How could you tell the story of baseball without Clemens, Rose, and Bonds? You don't have a Hall of Fame if you don't have those three dudes. Sills, you know what, man? These guys took steroids. There wasn't a steroid test and a PED test in Major League Baseball at the time. Do you understand this?
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
The Olympiads coming up here, the winter edition of those very exciting times are going to take place in Milan Cortino here, Joe. Was just watching the Miracle on Ice 1980 on Netflix here, and it was in Lake Placid, the village of Lake Placid, a tiny little town, which again was called a village in upstate New York, hosted the Olympics in 1980. A tiny small arena, even, Joe, when they had their speed skating, it was out front of Lake Placid High School. Outdoors is where that rink was. We've come a long way to big business in the Olympics, man, haven't we?
Big time, and it's also maybe one of the most corrupt businesses that we've seen too, Donnie. How you actually get the bidding and how you get awarded this event is over the top on whose bag of money shows up in what hotel room when. It is a little bit crazy, but I mean, listen, it's coming here too at some point again, isn't it, Donnie?
Especially like the World Cup involved as well, outside of the United States. Like when they move it, like what was it? Was it Africa where they had it? What continent did they had it where they were building stadiums like 3 years later? It's like, well, they built this stadium for like $100 million and never used it again as it just wilts away at this point. You're right about this. Very
Greece.
Select people get rich. Yeah, everybody else just gets run over. Like, yeah, remember the one in Greece where it's like, okay, we're going to build softball stadiums and aquatic arenas. Like, yeah, we never used these the minute the Olympics was over. Yeah, it's a pretty sound use of time here and space and money. But USA gold medals, Joe. We previewed this to start the Olympics. That was sitting around like 8.5 to 9.5. Look at the steam, Joe. Gold medals for the Olympics here for the United States. 12.5 minus a 118. Steamed. Do we get 13 of them, Joe?
Yeah, well, apparently the market seems to think so, right? Which is great. But I mean, Norway's the defending medal count and gold count winner from the last Winter Olympics, but the United States certainly, from you go to the individual events, right? You know, they've got possible gold winners across the board in all of these events. So, yeah, why not USA getting over those 12.5 gold medals?
How about that? And also Canada, only listed at 8.5. When did the United States move ahead as Canada as a better winter sport country here? How about that? U.S. making strides.
Yeah, no idea. And by the way, if they don't win hockey, they're kind of really then that number is going to plummet in a big way. But yeah, there's a lot of competition on the world stage when it comes to the Winter Olympics. That is for sure, Donnie.
How about Norway, though, listed at 15.5 here as the favorite? What do they do? Dominate like the biathlons and the luge and the skeleton? Like, where does Norway clean up? Just skiing itself?
Skiing, huge. Ice skating, huge, Donnie, in those events. And there are more Olympic events, I think, than any of the previous Winter Olympics, right? I mean, we got more sports, more of these events, which means more opportunities for medals. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all that they end up cleaning house when it comes to all the individual and team events with ice skating and skiing alone.
By the way, shout out to U.S. women here doing big things at like the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics, and quite frankly, in the World Cup as well. Like, you watch the World Cup, and the U.S. women are certainly a prominent force. The men are just an absolute afterthought. And take a look at hockey. The U.S. men's hockey team is very good, but they're not the favorites to win it. It's Canada in men's hockey. But the women's side of it, it's Team USA at minus 155. Shout out the women out here doing big things, Joe, for the U.S.
I agree. Whether it's in the Summer or Winter Olympics, Donnie, the women's side certainly delivering in a big way. And listen, there's no reason as the favorite. There's no reason for them to take this one down too, but it'll likely come down to those top two, right? USA versus Team Canada.
USA, Latvia, Joe. How about this? The USA on the money line, minus 1,400 to knock off Latvia. Get the party started quickly there, Joe. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. You got to lay the goal and a half to make any sort of situation here. Listen, Team USA might get 6 goals themselves in that game. So it'll be interesting. I'm just more interested to see did they actually finish the construction of the rink that they're supposed to be playing these games in, Donnie.
Interesting. I remember it's because I don't really know too much about the women's ice hockey team, but didn't they used to have like twins that used to dominate there for Team USA at this point, that big rivalry versus Canada? I'm going to get to know some of these ladies here on the ice to see if they can pull down a gold medal during the Olympics, Joe. But also, as we talk about the transition from Winter Olympics to Summer Olympics in 2028 that we have it here back in the U.S. in Los Angeles? Here's the interesting part about it. All that money being spent, $100 million. By the way, it's called Exposition Park, not Exhibition Park. I find interesting here. But $100 million in property renovations surrounding the Coliseum for 2028. And also, Joe, flag football supposed to be a part of the 2028 Olympics as well.
Yeah, this is it going to be real interesting, Donnie, when the Olympics get here in 2028, and where exactly are they putting all of these new structures and new stadiums, and how do you park? Where do you go? It's going to be we have enough hotel beds, Donnie, in order to house all the world that will be coming here. Should be interesting to see how this works out.
Now, let me ask you this question, Joe, because of always, like, these aren't private donations flowing in. The tax-paying public is going to front the bill. So when I look and say, okay, this is going to be done by 2028, Joe, they're hanging a tag of $100 million in renovations. Once the unions get a hold of that and a couple pockets gets greased, who's to say 500 million plus is going to be that final bill for those renovations?
Yeah, looks good on paper, Donnie, but the reality is, and you'd be hard-pressed to find any construction bill when it comes to setting up Olympics around the world and everything that goes involved, any of them ever staying within that original number budgeted. 100 million? I don't think so, Donnie. They probably already spent that and haven't even begun the renovations yet.
Yeah, exactly. That was just on licensing fees and also architectural fees as well. And also, if you looked at that picture up there, Joe, you see the Coliseum and it has a USC in there. For now, USC plays. USC, I believe, is going to be displaced for at least one full football season from their own building to accommodate these renovations. Oh, SC, man, can't catch a break, can they?
No, they can't. It's and it's for the whole area there is going to be completely overrun. So good luck. Let's see how that works out.
Have fun. Moving over to Inglewood. Inglewood, always up to no good. We'll be right back into this short break to hit those predictive markets that you know and love, and we do too.
You got to get on a bus, then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like, you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. There's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. A, Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back into the early line. I'm Donnie Rightside, the commissioner of the people out here. He's Joe Ranieri. He also is going to be my sidekick in this equation when we bring up Kalshi and Polymarket and talk about the Pro Bowl games here, Joe. Now, I feel like I was out on an island for a long time. I'm the king of let's just do away with every single All-Star break. There's no need for it anymore. We see all these superstars on a night-to-night basis, when in the 1950s, we might see these guys one time if they come to our town. And, oh, yeah, the All-Star game meant something back then, and the players took it seriously. So for years, I said the Pro Bowl has to go away. I don't care that they get 10 million people to watch some stupid football game. That doesn't matter. It has to go away. The players eventually decided it should go away because we don't even feel like tackling anybody in an actual Pro Bowl game. So then they thought it was a good idea to say, let's have the Pro Bowl games, which centered around a flag football game that nobody wants to participate in. Hence, we get Shedeur Sanders as one of the quarterbacks in this game. But, Joe, on the predictive markets, you can bet on these games. The Pro Football Pro Bowl game, NFC, 51% chance. AFC, 49% chance. How about just a 50% chance that nobody actually wants to watch this game? That fits in better for me, Joe.
I can't imagine anybody even remotely being interested in how in the world do you well, I guess maybe if you wanted to make it interesting, Donnie, you could throw a couple of bucks down on which side is going to win and which is not. But, I mean, any sort of Pro Bowl that thought it was a good idea to ask Justin Fields to be a part of is not a Pro Bowl I want to be betting on, Donnie, in any way, shape, or form here. But good luck trying to figure that one out. My goodness.
By the way, and I hate to say this too, because they will be well compensated, Joe, but maybe it takes, like, not a life-threatening injury. Like, I'm not that seditious here at this point right now, or evil. Maybe it just takes a blown-out knee to a superstar player in a flag football game in the offseason to end this altogether. Because you remember, I think it was the New England Patriots' Robert Edwards, whose knee absolutely exploded at the Pro Bowl when they were playing the beach games, and they did away with it. Maybe it takes, and again, I don't wish any harm on that player. The knee goes away, and you get $30 million in futures because you got hurt in a Pro Bowl game here. But is that what it's going to take to do away with the stupidness of the Pro Bowl game?
I certainly just hope they do away with it altogether, Donnie, because there is absolutely nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing exciting about this game. So it's not even going to resemble anything we want. I mean, at this point, why don't you just have them all play Madden football? Just bust it out.
Yes.
Just bust it out, and that's it. Everyone control their own guy and have a Madden tournament. You'd probably get more people viewing that than watching a flag football game.
Look, how about this, Joe? Everybody involved who makes the Pro Bowl, they come down to Miami, they stay at the Fontainebleau, a nice steak dinner on the NFL, and a weekend paid for by the NFL where you can hang out on the beach, relax, and fly home. Sounds like a better Pro Bowl than, hey, do you want to go to Santa Clara and play a flag football game? No, not particularly, Joe. We don't want to do that.
No, absolutely. I have no interest whatsoever in any of this. And when you look at the roster and some of the guys that they've had to ask to even be a part of this, it's hilarious. Yeah, no thanks. But it does, listen, if it gives the fans an opportunity to get out of the cold weather and come down to Orlando in order to be careful because it ain't warm there either right now. Good luck. Enjoy yourself.
How about a $150 gift card to Joe's down there? You get yourself probably one crab claw there, but you can enjoy it and have fun that weekend. And that mustard sauce is absolutely spectacular down there, people. How about college football? Undefeated season. Do you know who's listed as number one with a chance to go undefeated next year? It's Notre Dame. Why? Because they play nobody. They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Oh, no, wait, Donnie. You go undefeated in the regular season. You got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and saying, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it. There's a chance they go undefeated.
Yeah. What was that? The memorandum of understanding that don't worry, Notre Dame, you'll make the playoff regardless of what happens. Yeah, good stuff there. And they'll lose that Miami game, Donnie, and then we'll be back to square one all over again, but they'll lose it early enough in the season where it won't matter because they're going to play the Sisters of the Poor the rest of the way. And yes, they have a pretty good opportunity to win all but one game.
How about this one quickly? The defensive player of the year in the NBA. It has to be Wembanyama. I was watching his highlights the other day. I don't know how you score on the San Antonio Spurs. The man is everywhere like Spider-Man blocking shots, Joe.
Guy is a absolute wrecking machine there, and he's only going to get better, Donnie.
All right, Let's talk some NHL action. It's the winter. We got to do it.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Let's do that hockey here, people. And by the way, if you have been listening or watching around, Nick Saban buying into the Nashville Predators and apparently is going to start to be able to make decisions. So why is that important? Barry Trotz announced that he is stepping down as the general manager of the Predators. He will remain on until a successor is found, which then leads us down to Nick Saban's going to be in that room to help pick the general manager of a hockey team, Joe. You got to love that. Little cross-sport pollination.
Well, I think winning is winning, right? Leadership is leadership. So whether it's NFL, college, the NHL, that's what he does, right? Figuring out the right guy for the right spot. So plus, and let's face it, I mean, he's got to be bored out of his mind right now. No, I mean, this has got to be a little fun for Saban too to get involved in there and do what he does best, which is put winning teams together. And I think that's what the Predators are hoping for here as well.
Smart people in the decision room tend to make, Joe, smart decisions here. Maybe that'll help out the Nashville Predators here, getting a quality GM to replace Barry Trotz. Let's also talk about Connor McDavid, one of the best players, if not the best player in hockey. He loves it in Edmonton and says he can't imagine making a cup run with another city outside of Edmonton, Joe.
Oh, we'll see about that. I think they just released Picard, too, as well, Edmonton. So, listen, I mean, he says all the right things, Donnie, right? And I don't know what Edmonton's choice is. How are you going to let him and Draisaitl go anywhere? You already gave an extension to Draisaitl. You know it's coming for McDavid. But listen, if he's not happy with what that front office is doing or the goaltending situation, he knows he can't win without a goaltender. So this should be very interesting to see over the next season here what happens. Don't forget, Giannis said he'd never asked to leave Milwaukee, too. So,
Yeah, and again, be careful what you wish for. I understand that Edmonton loves its hockey, but not really the greatest place in the winter for a winter sport to be living your life when you could, I don't know, play for the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Florida Panthers in much more warmer climates at this point here. By the way, talking about warmer climates, the Sabres, it's cold up there, but they are hot on the ice, Joe. Did you know, and I know you do know, they came to town yesterday in South Florida and beat the brakes off the Panthers. Tie game in the third period. 2 goals scored by the Sabres. 5-3 victory. Ain't no stopping us now. Sabres. How about that?
Yeah, no, not going well for the Cats right now. Another epic collapse there now. So this is good. I mean, listen, kudos to the Sabres who have just continued to roll. Now you're going to get, and I hate this, Donnie, because now you're going to have a team that is playing as well as Buffalo, and now they got to take a 2-week break. And I hate that, Donnie, because they might not be the same team in 2 weeks when they get back.
Nope, they might not. And maybe they'll fire their general manager and their head coach like Pegula did with the Buffalo Bills and try to change some things up at that point. Well, maybe keep their general manager just like they did and just bump them up into a better spot in that front office. How about the Wild in overtime, knocking off the Canadians, one of the best goal scorers in the NFL? Kaprizov, 2 goals in that game, helps them win in overtime.
Yeah, and listen, the Wild are a team. A lot of people, listen, they made the big moves, right? They ended up trading for one of the best defensemen in the league here. They are making a run. They were close last year, Donnie, but they're even closer this year. This is a team we better be taking seriously right now. 33-14 on the season. They are no joke, and they've got a great home ice advantage over teams.
What's going on with the Avalanche, Joe? The unbeaten team now finally seems mortal at this point. The Red Wings with a goal in the first and a goal in the third to shut out the Avalanche in their own building. And by the way, the Red Wings pick up their 33rd win of the season.
We talked about this game, right? We're saying, listen, I don't know, that's a big number for the Avs here. Big time for against the team that is, only 3 wins less now than what the Avs have. But listen, the Avs are a team that understand it is a marathon, not a sprint. The way they started off the season, Donnie, they're still 36-9 on the season. So I wouldn't worry about what's happening here. They understand the nature of this game. They'll be just fine after the break.
Let's get to some games on the ice tonight here. The Capitals in town to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. And by the way, Joe, did you know during the 86-87 NHL season, my very first game was a 4-2 victory at the Spectrum where the Flyers knocked off the Capitals there with a nice late goal by Tim Kerr. But the Flyers, the favorite tonight. What? The Flyers are a favorite, Joe. Talk to me on this game.
Well, that's just wrong. No, I mean, but aren't the Capitals are actually a pretty decent team here, Donnie, taking on the how many games now have the Flyers lost here in a row here? But the Capitals, I think, they're 3 in a row now, looking for their 4th straight win here before the break. You kind of like them. I mean, 4-1-1 in the last 6 here. And they just beat a really good Islanders team. So I don't understand this outside of the backup goalie playing here. I still don't know that the Flyers have enough to be able to win this game.
Rebuild mode for those Flyers. It's what we live for now in the city of Philadelphia. But the Buffalo Sabres, we just talked about, Joe, knocking down the Florida Panthers. No rest for the weary. Buffalo going to get over from Sunrise to Tampa here and take on the Lightning. And by the way, overnight, this was as high as a minus 245 favorite here for Tampa Bay, which we now still sit between minus 205 to minus 220, depending where you're shopping at, as a heavy favorite for the Lightning over the Sabres, Joe.
Yeah, this is let's face it, Donnie, this is a tough spot here for Buffalo. A very physical game against the Florida Panthers. Now they take a trip up the West Coast there to get to Tampa, who had a pretty fun game. We talked about at the Winter Classic at Raymond James Stadium against the Bruins, a game in which they wanted a shootout. And listen, Sabres, if we're going to take you seriously, you got to be able to win games like this against the Lightning. You passed the test against the Panthers last night. Tough spot for them, though, here tonight against the Lightning.
Just talked about those Edmonton Oilers and whether or not it's going to be a long-term destination after 11 years to get longer here for their superstar Connor McDavid. Tonight, Toronto comes to town, and look at this price point. Say it ain't so, Toronto. Minus 205 as a favorite towards the Edmonton Oilers at home with Jari in net versus Stolarz here. Oh, Toronto, not looking good.
Yeah, not looking good. But you know what is looking good, Donnie? Probably goals, and a lot of them in this game here. So I don't imagine us taking a underlook in this game. It feels like it's over or pass with these two teams right now.
Take a look at some of these Stanley Cup odds as I slide down. Let me take a look here. So you got Colorado, Joe, at a plus 220 price still standing. We talked about it yesterday. But as I slide down, I'm trying to find those Buffalo Sabres, and I got to go down to a 50-1 price to win the Stanley Cup for the Sabres, which is actually behind teams like the Utah Mammoth. They get no respect in the marketplace to win it all, Joe. Why is that?
Yeah, well, because they're probably going to get crushed here tonight against Tampa, and then all will be well in the world. But listen, you got to appreciate it, but not like this is a team filled with guys who have been there and done this before. I think there's going to be an interesting shift, though, Donnie, come once we get past the Olympic break here. It's a very strange situation, playing your best hockey, and then all of a sudden you go into a 2-week break, and then you got to come back and put it together. Not a great situation. It probably favors the veteran-laden teams who at least have been there and done this before in years.
By the way, help me out with this. Like, it used to be back in the day, like Flyers-Rangers was must-see hockey there. The Eric Lindros years and all the fights that they had, and when both of these teams were good. The Rangers had been decent. The Flyers absolutely stink. But I look at the marketplace to win a Stanley Cup. Now, the Flyers are 225-1 to win the Stanley Cup this year. They're probably not even going to make the playoffs. But the Rangers are 500-1. What happened in New York, Joe? What happened here?
They're awful. They can't win a game at home, Donnie. They can't score. Could you imagine being a Rangers team where you go to the Garden and it's not a home ice advantage anymore? It's kind of crazy. They've actually been at least a little bit more decent on the road, but the firepower just not there.
Oh, man, shout out to New York Rangers fans struggling in these streets here. George Kurtz will come on along with us next. We'll talk more hockey. Let's go.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like, he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's Tuesday right here on the early line. Yeah, we're getting you ready for Super Bowl Sunday here. Super Bowl 60, and that's going to be the Seattle Seahawks taking on those New England Patriots. But we're having some fun talking hockey, and for me, it used to be fun talking hockey. My Flyers used to be good. I'm Donnie Rightside. He's Joe Ranieri. Now we bring in George Kurtz here. It's cold outside the Northeast. No better time to talk hockey than right now, George.
I might make a joke about the Flyers. You used to be good. How far back we going here? But then again, I'm an Islanders fan, so I don't think I have anything much to say.
Exactly, George. Let's go back 24 hours to the Capitals knocking off the Islanders 4-1. What's going on up in the island? You got a beautiful arena. Start winning up there, George. Come on.
Listen, they're a weird team because you don't know what you're going to get game in and game out. It's all about Sorokin, right? He's the one blue chip player they have. If he's playing great, they have a shot at winning. If not, they don't have any goal scorers, all right? I mean, their best goal scorer would be Bo Horvat, but he's no one's answering him. Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, or anyone like that. It sort of is what it is. Sorokin and bust for the Islanders here. Might they make the playoffs? Sure, but we have to remember in the Eastern Conference, it's likely the Atlantic Division is going to have 5 playoff teams. The Metro, only 3. Those 2 wildcard teams are probably coming from the Atlantic, not the Metro. It won't be easy for the Islanders. And let's face it, they're not a Stanley Cup team anyway. I'm not so sure how much it matters.
We were talking, George, what the hell happened to the Rangers? I mean, Panarin, obviously, we keep hearing is on the trade block. They should be able to get a nice haul for him here, but what is happening? Are they just hitting the reset button, the Rangers here?
Well, they want to rebuild, all right? Not restart, just not tear it all down here, but they're tearing it all down. All right, they're going to lie to their fans. Oh, yeah, we'll be good in a year or two. No, they're going to tear it all down here. Joe, I have no answers for you. I mean, on paper, the Rangers look like they should have been a good team. You have Shesterkin, top 5 goaltender in the league, and that's probably being, not tonight. He's probably top 3, top 2. Panarin, Zibanejad's having a good year. You had Kreider last year and stuff like that. And it's a locker room problem. I don't know. Adam Fox is one of the best defensemen in the league here. Doesn't make a lot of sense here. We're hearing Panarin, by the way, that he's likely to be traded. I think it's about 70-30 before the Olympic deadline, which is Thursday of this week here. And apparently he's going he wants to be in your neck of the woods, Joe. He'd like to be in Florida, but wouldn't. But it seems like unlikely the Panthers are going to be able to figure out how to get him under that cap, especially since they don't know about Alexander Barkov yet. But now it's Tampa Bay Lightning apparently would be interested as well. Everyone's interested. How are they going to fit him under the cap and give the Rangers what they want? That's a big question. They're going to want at least a number 1, probably a number 2, not to mention a pretty good prospect there. And Panarin holds all the cards. He does have a no-trade clause, so teams probably would like to lock him up before making this deal as well.
George, let's head back up to the island here because the Pittsburgh Penguins are in town to take on the Islanders, and the Penguins having a pretty good season. This game lines up with a total of 5.5, but also roughly a pick 'em depending on which side you're betting tonight between the Islanders and the Penguins. What do we see? Islanders not so good last night. Now back home. Can they bounce back?
Both teams played last night, right? Both teams lost last night, so I guess it's even that way. They're both older teams. I say that because, once again, when you play in the second half of back-to-back nights, I tend to like younger teams. They bounce back a little quicker here, but both are older teams. You obviously got Crosby and Malkin, and people think the Islanders are a young team. They're actually not. A lot of old players on the Islanders, and the younger players, by the way, suck. So it not really matters there anyway. My first thought here was 5.5. I want to take the over, but it's minus 138. So we're not doing that. We're not paying $1.40 for the over there. I think I'll stay away from the under. I think it will be a higher scoring game once again, second half. I think there'll be opportunities to score here. Crosby anytime goal certainly crosses my mind here. It's pretty much an even game here. Technically, the Penguins have a dog at minus 105. Islanders have lost 2 straight. I think they lose 3 straight tonight. I would take the Penguins.
It's crazy. What is Crosby, like 39? He's got to be pushing 40, and he still has, 27 goals this year, 58 points, played in 53 games. It's been a hell of a turnaround for Pittsburgh. Kudos to them. But like I was saying, George, we've got Buffalo's a great story, right? Great. They're doing a great job. This 2-week break for the Olympics cannot be good for a young team, an experienced team like Buffalo. Like, what are we getting after this 2 weeks? Like, who do we expect to make a run? Who do we expect to fall back? Playing their best hockey, is it good for Buffalo just to take 2 weeks off now?
No, I wouldn't want to be taking off on Buffalo. You've won like 19 straight games in a row. You're playing so well. the Olympic break is going to change a lot of things. Not only will there be trades, right? The deadline is about a week after they come back there, and there'll be some trades beforehand here. But we have to remember, there are some teams, I think the Lightning are one of them, that have like 10 guys on the Olympic teams. Not just Team USA or Team Canada, but Sweden and Finland. That's a lot of extra hockey you're playing. You cannot tell me that we're not going to be talking about an injury or 2 or 3 that come back. Oh, John Tavares hurt his knee years ago, right? He couldn't play. That's going to happen again. Where we're going to have guys who are top players who they ain't playing in March, or they're out for the season, whatever it might be, because of an injury here. So we'll be talking about that as well. But the extra games that some of these teams are going to have, the Lightning, 10 guys, they play 5 extra games each. That's 50 extra games they had to play. That's going to be a big thing coming out of the Olympic break here. But yeah, if I'm a team that's playing well, no, I don't want to have the Olympic break. No, it's just, of course not. If you're playing poorly, well, then the Olympics can have to help you reset a little bit, right? Help you reset for the what's going to become the final stretch run there.
Yeah, George is right about that point, too, because it's not like you go off to the All-Star game and play 5 exhibition games. Like, these guys are playing as hard as if it's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup for their countries here. A lot of high-leverage hockey that's going to be played, which then brings us up, George, to the Winter Olympics themselves. Going to enjoy those particularly. I really enjoy men's hockey in the Olympics, and Canada is the favorite right now to plus 120 price, followed by Team USA at plus 210, and then Sweden, the only other team at 10-1 or less. George, what are we looking at from your perspective for the Winter Olympics from the men's side?
Listen, it's always Team Canada, all right? That's when I bet them on the 4 nations. I'll be betting on them for the Olympics as well here. The only question about Team Canada is goaltending, all right? Which is weird to say, by the way, because Canada's had great goaltenders forever, right? Brodeur, Roy, they were always fantastic, and now they're not. All right, Binnington was awesome in 4 nations, but he's been horrific since. All right, he's not even the starter for the St. Louis Blues anymore, yet he still might get first crack because they feel they owe it to him. But that's where Team USA has to have the advantage, right? Because they have the better goaltenders. If they have a shot, it's going to be in goal here. Team Sweden, who I really like, and Finland, by the way, lots of injuries. I think this is Canada and the USA. They'll come down with the gold medal here, and whoever's playing well that day, it's a 1-game tournament, right? Whoever's playing well that day wins it, but I'll take Canada again.
George Kurtz rising and grinding on the early line with us this morning, talking a little hockey action pre-Olympics here. Love to see it, George. Thanks for joining us. For Joe and Donnie, we'll close it down next right here on the early line.
You got to get on a bus. Then you got to get to the hotel, all right? You got to check into your room. You got to go through all this crap. It's like, yeah, it's done for you, but it's still not like you're still sitting there. You're still in traffic. Yeah, you're still like, it's still 2 a.m. You still want to be in bed, right? You're like, oh, my God, I'm on some highway in Calgary right now. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're playing against the Canucks tomorrow, right? Like, it's not as smooth as people always think.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Hey, daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good. But all of a sudden, the prospect of daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
PGA Tour had a pretty good week last week, welcoming back Brooks Koepka to the tour here, and then saw Justin Rose play absolutely amazing golf, winding the clock back. And could it be a factor here in the 2026 championship major runs here for the PGA? But also, Tiger Woods sort of stands as that guard to the PGA Tour. You know what we talked about? Hey, talked a little Brooks Koepka right here. Let's check it out.
I don't know that part yet. I mean, Brooks just got his feet wet being back on our tour again at touring, and he's playing Waste Management this week. So, and we've got one new team next year, and should have two. One that's going to be sewn up or not, but who knows? If Brooks going to be on a team or not on a team. But we have a great team here. My boys here, and we've had so much fun. Going back and forth, and these group texts are just awesome.
Tyler?
By the way, does Tiger play? Does he play in this league, or when is he supposed to be back? What's the deal with Tiger?
Yeah, no, he's there, but I mean, I think the whole Brooks Koepka situation is that he lives in Palm Beach. He's from Jupiter. Yeah. He's from where they play these games in this building. So the natural is that, hey, listen, his family's here, he lives here, so it would be very interesting to get him on a team next year. But yeah, he sort of plays in it. I mean, I guess the big question is he going to play in the Masters? What are we going to get from Tiger from here on out? Probably not a whole heck of a lot, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we got to get Tiger back out there as a nice little mascot for the PGA Tour. Play around at the Masters, lift those ratings up, and have some fun for the people in the gallery here. Let's get to the questions that we need answered with our Fade the Public poll. Hockey is fantastic in the Winter Olympics. It really is. So the question we asked today at SportsGrid on X, will the United States win the gold medal in men's ice hockey? 66% currently right now voting yes. The other 33% going to Canada.
Well, listen, I think it's going to come down to those two teams. So, yeah, at that point, you can flip a coin because there's not a whole lot separating those two as far as talent goes. I think it's going to be fantastic watching it get to the gold medal round. Will there be a letdown? It's hard to bet against Team Canada or Team USA meeting for the gold here. But one of them, I think, is easy. It certainly is going to end up winning them. Why not? I mean, right now you're talking about Canada being the favorite and Team USA behind them. Plus money is staring us in the face here, Donnie, to make that bet sooner rather than later.
There you go. Plus money with a chance to win some money. You know what that sounds like? Buy. Best bets of the day. I'll be back in the NBA tonight, Joe. You going back to college basketball? Where are we finding that money today?
I'm going back to college basketball, Donnie, and this is just a ridiculous number here. Duke at home tonight playing Boston College. This line was up as high as 4 touchdowns here. Duke laying 4 touchdowns. Now down to 26.5, and I'll take these points. Listen, tricky spot to lay this amount of points. Why? Well, they're coming off a very physical game against Virginia Tech, which they won, but they have UNC on the road on Saturday, and you know that rivalry is no joke here. So this look-ahead spot, Donnie, is real, and laying this many points, shutting down a Boston College team that is they're terrible offensively, Donnie, but the 5 highest-ranked teams that they have played here, 5 opponents they've played within 13 points. So to get 26.5, I'll take them all day long. Duke is not interested in blowing them out by 30-plus points. They're interested in winning and getting to North Carolina. I'll take those points tonight with Boston College.
There we go. A little BC action tonight for me. I'm going out to the West Coast. The Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Golden State Warriors. The Sixers got the benefit of a personal day yesterday from James Harden. Easily came away with a victory over Los Angeles. They're going to jump on a plane, head to Northern California, take on the Golden State Warriors. Overnight, Joe, this line was -1.5. Now you're seeing 2.5s and even 3s now in the marketplace, despite only 25% of the tickets coming in on the Golden State Warriors. Last night I told you about those Grizzlies getting 7.5 outright winner. Nobody wanted to take them. They were at 14%. So today we're going Warriors to knock off the Philadelphia 76ers. And Joe, I'm laying the 2.5, going against my boys to make some money tonight.
A good tough spot there for the Sixers here. We'll see, Steph Curry's opportunity to go nuclear tonight.
Let's do it. Wednesday is hump day. We'll be back for the people. For Donnie Right Side and Joe Rainier, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.